A young hunter tears into a fresh piece of raw meat. Blood runs down his hands. His teeth struggle against thick muscle and tough connective tissue. Every bite takes effort. Every chew lasts far longer than anything you have experienced at a modern dinner table. There is no fire, no cooking, no salt, no smoke drifting through the evening air. This isn't bravery. This is simply dinner. For millions of years, our ancestors survived in a world where every meal was raw. Every bite carried hidden dangers. Every mouthful demanded strength, patience, and an astonishing ability to adapt. Today, fire feels so natural that we rarely think about life before it. Every kitchen, every restaurant, every hot meal begins with the simple assumption that food will be cooked. But for most of human evolution, that assumption didn't exist, which raises a fascinating question. What did humans actually eat before fire? The answer is far stranger than most people imagine, because the story isn't simply about raw meat. It's about an entire world that forced human beings to become extraordinary long before civilization ever appeared. To understand that world, we first need to understand something surprising about the timeline of human history. Modern humans have existed for roughly 300,000 years. Our broader genus, Homo, stretches back nearly 3 million years. Yet the regular, controlled use of fire became widespread only somewhere between 400,000 and 1 million years ago. That means countless generations spent millions of years eating entirely raw food, not because they believed raw food was healthier, not because it was fashionable, because it was the only option. Every child born into that ancient world inherited the same challenge. Find food, eat it raw, survive long enough to do it again tomorrow. The first major shift in our ancestors' diet happened long before fire. It was meat. Stone tools dating back at least 2.5 million years carry unmistakable evidence of butchering animal carcasses. Ancient bones still bear cut marks left by sharp stone flakes. Someone deliberately sliced away flesh. Someone deliberately cracked bones. Someone deliberately removed nutritious organs. Those people had no campfires waiting nearby. Every piece of meat they ate was raw. Imagine tearing into fresh muscle using nothing but your teeth. Raw meat is nothing like the tender steak served in modern restaurants. Uncooked muscle fibers are dense. Connective tissue refuses to break apart. Cartilage stretches stubbornly between every bite. Without heat, your jaw becomes part of the cooking process. You chew, and chew, and chew. Early human skulls reveal exactly this story. Their jaws were larger. Their chewing muscles were stronger. Their molars were broader than ours. They weren't built that way by accident. Their anatomy reflected the enormous effort required to process raw food every single day. But chewing wasn't the greatest challenge. Invisible enemies were. Every uncooked meal carried bacteria, parasites, microbes. Today we worry about salmonella, E. coli, listeria, numerous parasites. Cooking destroys many of these dangers. Our ancestors had no such protection. So how did they survive? Part of the answer lies inside the human body itself. Early humans likely possessed stomach acidity powerful enough to destroy many dangerous pathogens before they reached the intestines. Generation after generation, natural selection favored individuals whose bodies handled those threats just a little better. But we should not imagine they escaped these dangers. Many became sick. Many almost certainly died. Raw food was never safe. It was simply unavoidable. Early humans also understood that not every part of an animal offered the same reward. Long before anyone discussed nutrition, they instinctively prized organ meats. Liver, kidneys, brains. These tissues required less chewing than muscle, while providing extraordinary amounts of nutrients. Then came perhaps the greatest prize of all, bone marrow. Archaeological sites across Africa reveal countless animal bones smashed open with stone tools. The purpose wasn't mysterious. It was marrow. Hidden inside thick bones lay one of nature's richest energy sources. Soft, fatty, packed with calories. Unlike raw muscle, marrow could be eaten almost immediately. For an early hunter facing uncertain food supplies, breaking open a bone was like opening a natural energy reserve. But obtaining meat wasn't always glorious. Movies often show prehistoric hunters defeating giant animals every day. Reality was probably far messier. Many researchers believe early humans spent significant time scavenging. Instead of making every kill themselves, they often arrived after lions, saber-toothed cats, or hyenas had already eaten. The predators left behind scraps, damaged carcasses, broken bones, organs, marrow. To modern eyes, much of that meat would already appear spoiled. To our ancestors, It represented survival. Waiting too long meant another scavenger would claim it first. Walking away meant going hungry. Sometimes the safest decision was simply to eat, not because the food was fresh, because calories mattered more than perfection. Of course, meat tells only part of the story. Plants supplied enormous amounts of food throughout human evolution. Yet eating raw plants created entirely different problems. Many underground roots and tubers contain large amounts of starch. Today, potatoes and similar foods become soft after cooking. Heat transforms their starch into a form our digestive system can process efficiently. Raw starch behaves very differently. Much of it passes through the body with surprisingly little nutritional benefit. Our ancestors had to solve this problem without fire. They crushed roots with stones. They pounded tough plants into smaller pieces. They chewed patiently. Some foods naturally fermented, making them easier to digest. Most importantly, they relied heavily on foods that required little processing. Sweet fruits, berries, tender leaves, seeds, nuts. Nature offered plenty of food, but only if you knew exactly where to look. Every season changed the menu. Every landscape offered different opportunities. One valley produced berries. Another offered edible roots. A distant hillside held nut trees. Missing that knowledge could mean starvation. Remembering it could save an entire family. And then there were insects. Modern diners often react with disgust. Our ancestors almost certainly reacted with excitement. Insects required no cooking. Many were rich in fat, rich in protein, available almost everywhere. Thermites, ants, beetle larvae, grubs hidden beneath rotten logs. They were small packages of concentrated nutrition waiting to be collected. Our closest living relatives still demonstrate exactly how valuable these foods can be. Chimpanzees spend remarkable amounts of time extracting termites using simple sticks because the nutritional reward is worth the effort. Early humans almost certainly did the same. One of the sweetest discoveries in the ancient world came hanging from tree branches. Honey. Unlike meat, unlike roots, unlike tough plants, honey required absolutely no preparation. It was already perfect. Concentrated sugar, instant energy. Every drop delivered calories with extraordinary efficiency. The only challenge was convincing thousands of angry bees to let you have it. Many ancient people accepted that risk because the reward was unlike anything else nature offered. The ancient pre-fire menu wasn't glamorous. It wasn't comfortable. It certainly wasn't healthy by modern standards. But it worked. Not because every meal was ideal, because every meal taught another lesson. Every successful hunt, every poisonous berry avoided, every edible root remembered. All of it slowly built something far more valuable than a full stomach. It built knowledge. And long before books existed, knowledge became humanity's greatest survival tool. Knowledge alone, however, was never enough. The ancient world constantly changed. A forest rich with fruit one season could become nearly empty the next. A river that overflowed one year might dry almost completely the following year. Survival demanded something greater than strength. It demanded flexibility. Different environments forced early humans to eat completely different foods. In tropical forests, fruit was often abundant. Insects were plentiful. Honey rewarded those brave enough to face angry bees. Dense vegetation offered countless edible plants. The open savanna told a very different story. Long dry seasons stripped away much of that abundance. Fruit became scarce. Fresh leaves disappeared. Suddenly, underground roots became far more important. So did animal carcass. So did the marrow hidden inside bones. Every environment required its own strategy. The people who adapted survived. Those who repeated yesterday's solution often didn't. This flexibility may have shaped the human mind long before cities, farming, or writing ever appeared. Finding food became a daily exercise in problem-solving. Where had the animals gone? Which plants survived the drought? Which river still offered safe water? Which valley still contained edible roots? Every successful answer strengthened the next generation. Scientists studying fossil teeth have uncovered another remarkable clue. Tiny scratches and microscopic pits remain preserved on ancient enamel for hundreds of thousands of years. Each meal leaves behind tiny marks. Together, they reveal what an individual regularly ate. Some early human relatives specialized in crushing extremely tough plants. Others show evidence of a broader and far more flexible diet. This tells us something important. There was never a single prehistoric menu. Different human species solved the same survival problem in different ways. Some specialized, others adapted. The lineage that eventually became us appears to have chosen flexibility. That decision may have changed everything. Another fascinating clue comes from our digestive system. Compared with other great apes, modern humans possess surprisingly small digestive tracts relative to body size. Why? One influential explanation is known as the expensive tissue hypothesis. The idea is surprisingly simple. Digestive organs consume enormous amounts of energy. Brains consume even more. Evolution could not endlessly enlarge both. Cooking changed the balance. Once food became easier to digest, the digestive system no longer needed to work as hard. The gut gradually became smaller. The energy saved could be redirected elsewhere. The brain, in other words, every cooked meal helped shift energy away from digestion and toward intelligence. But before fire transformed food, our ancestors paid that energy bill with larger digestive systems and countless hours of chewing. Fire didn't simply improve dinner. It helped reshape the human body itself. Yet food wasn't the only danger entering the body. Water could be just as deadly. Today we casually fill a glass from the tap. Ancient humans had no such luxury. Every river, every pond, every stream could carry invisible parasites and disease. Boiling water would eventually solve much of this problem. Before fire, boiling wasn't possible. Choosing where to drink became another survival skill. Some water sources repeatedly made people sick. Others proved safer. Families remembered. Parents taught their children. Entire groups accumulated generations of knowledge about which places to trust and which to avoid. Once again, memory became medicine. Food storage created another challenge. Imagine finally bringing down a large antelope. The celebration would not last long. Without fire, there was no smoking meat, no drying meat, no refrigeration. Fresh meat spoiled quickly. A single family could never eat an entire carcass before much of it became unsafe. So another solution emerged: sharing. Instead of trying to keep everything, successful hunters distributed meat throughout the group. Today you receive food. Tomorrow, someone else succeeds. Next week, they may need your help instead. Over thousands of generations, this simple necessity strengthened one of humanity's greatest evolutionary advantages: cooperation. The need to prevent waste may have quietly encouraged stronger social bonds long before agriculture or permanent villages appeared. Some of the earliest foundations of human society may have begun not around cooking fires, but around uncooked meat that couldn't be preserved. Modern chimpanzees provide another fascinating window into this ancient world. Researchers have spent decades observing wild chimpanzee communities across Africa. Their diet is astonishingly diverse: fruit, leaves, seeds, insects, honey, occasionally even meat obtained through cooperative hunting. Chimpanzees organize group hunts. Different individuals perform different roles. Some chase, others block escape routes. Some capture the prey, then they share the meat. Watching them today offers an extraordinary glimpse into behaviors that may resemble those practiced by our own distant ancestors. Early humans were never the fastest predators. They weren't the strongest. They lacked sharp claws. They lacked powerful fangs. Instead, they possessed something far more valuable: the ability to learn, to cooperate, to remember, to change strategies when yesterday's solution stopped working. That may have been the greatest survival tool evolution ever produced. Eventually, everything changed. Someone learned to preserve fire. Someone learned to carry glowing embers from one campsite to another. Someone discovered that meat placed above flames became softer, sauvage, easier to digest. Roots released more calories. Water became safer to drink. Families gathered around warm fires instead of eating quickly before darkness. Cooking didn't simply transform food. It transformed human life. But we should never believe everything before fire was primitive failure waiting to be replaced. Those millions of years without cooking built the very qualities that allowed our species to master fire in the first place: observation, curiosity, patience, planning, cooperation, behavioral flexibility. Before fire, every meal tested those abilities. Every successful day became another lesson. Every mistake disappeared with the people who made it. Every useful discovery survived through memory. One handful of berries, one cracked bone, one termite mound, one beehive, one scavenged carcass, one carefully chosen stream. Together, they became the classroom that shaped humanity. Today, our kitchens are filled with ovens, refrigerators, microwaves, and technologies our ancestors could never have imagined. Yet every hot meal carries a hidden reminder: long before recipes, before restaurants, before agriculture, before civilization itself, human beings survived one raw meal at a time. They were never protected by comfort. They were protected by adaptation. The greatest meal in human history wasn't the first cooked one. It was every raw meal that kept our ancestors alive long enough to discover fire. If this story changed the way you see our ancestors, we'd love to have you join us for the next journey. Subscribe to Human Stories, where archaeology, science, and forgotten moments from the distant past reveal the remarkable story of how ordinary people shaped the extraordinary world we live in today. Thank you for watching.